Hey, good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host. Listen, today I have a really cool dude on that has a pretty incredible story from what I've heard. So without any more about all that, I want to go ahead and welcome Robert J. Moore to the show. Robert, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. You got that whole like New York thing going. How you doing? How you doing? I'm good. How you doing?
Must been watching too many movies in the past.
I think so, right? Goodfellas. Like you're like right out of
Yeah.
the scene out of Goodfellas. And we got some people on here. I know you know Bruce Servin. I saw him pop on. Linda Ann Barber, she's on. She's amazing. She loves my intro video. That's awesome. That's awesome. Tammy Acosta. So as you know, I created this show. Gosh, I think I started this back in April, and I've done well over 100 interviews now, and I've had some big time celebrities on. I've had some not huge yet entrepreneurs, but some very successful people. And it's all about, because look, I've been very blessed in my career, right? My life. And I have not had it easy. I've always figured out the hardest path possible and took that one and then went, what the heck was I thinking? So, we all have this story, right, of the trials and tribulations. And I think that other people benefit tremendously by hearing our stories. And I know you've got one. And I think that we can help people break through some walls today by you sharing your story. So let's start with, if you don't mind, let's start with where you were born and raised.
I was actually born and raised in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada.
Oh.
And I think we lived there till about age 14 years old. And my dad just had enough of living in the city. I was already getting into trouble by then. I was holding my emotions down, suppressing my emotions. I started drinking Labatt's 50. Oh, Labatt's 50, the Stubbies, that was rotten.
Yeah, right.
And OV.
Right.
So
right.
there were two worst drinks out there, and I got hooked on them. So when I started drinking that, it made me feel like I was invincible. It made me feel like, hey, I don't need to hear that no more. I'm feeling pretty good about myself all of a sudden. My stepmom was a bit of a hothead. She was a hothead, but I've always called her mom. I respect her in that manner. But my dad was always working 3 jobs just to put the food on the table for all his children. But my stepmom favored her own child over my dad's children. So it was kind of hard because I was the youngest and I got the blame for everything. So I got grounded and everything. So
yeah,
I became a drug addict, alcoholic, living on the streets for 7 years. At the age of 15 years old, started in and out of jail for 16 years.
Wow. Wait.
Yeah.
Let's back up. So you were born in Canada.
Indeed.
Okay. Whoa, what happened there? I took the camera off of you for a minute. So you were born in Canada, and now you obviously weren't born to a stepmom.
No, my biological mother is still living.
Okay.
She's actually one of my clients right now, teaching her how to write a book, how to get a book out there, and that.
That's awesome.
She actually just won an award, right, for her book. So as a publisher, I'm giving her own award.
That's awesome. So at some point your parents, I assume, they got divorced when you were.
I think it was when I was around age 2. I was age 2 years old.
Okay.
So I never really got to meet my biological mother until I was about 15 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So when I was about 15 years old, I had the long hair way down the back, the tattoos, the earring coming out. I was LA Cool J,
Yeah. Right. So yeah. That's funny. I was thinking about that this morning, how I used to have long hair and longer hair, right? I was gonna join the band Kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But so So what point did your stepmom come on the scene?
When I was 2 years old, they actually moved in together.
Oh, okay.
They were actually high school sweethearts before that.
Oh,
Before they
wow.
met their biological mom, and then dad just went back to his high school sweetheart,
I
and
got
they
you.
moved on from there. It was kind of intriguing the way their story actually leads in.
Yeah. So you were raised by your biological dad and your stepmom then.
Right.
And at
Yes.
15 years old, and you said she was a hothead and some other things, and you were starting to get into trouble and whatnot.
See, they moved to a rural area where there was only 300 people around. You had to get to the nearest store was like a mile and a half.
Okay.
We jump on the bus, go to school, and I got kicked out of school at the age 15 and a half. What they did was give me a letter stating that when I turned 16 on May 29th, that I'm not allowed back on the property ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the reason why. I got tired of bullies.
Yeah.
I got tired of people bullying my own brother around. My brother was a bit weak. I mean, he had some problems. Now, every time I'd see someone, there would be someone on the football team picking on him.
Yeah.
So I went for the meanest, toughest guy on the football team that everybody admires, and I threw him in the garbage bin, and I sat on top of it.
Wow.
That embarrassed him and got me kicked out of school.
Right. So you ended up but it's some point right around that period of time you became homeless.
I did. It was around 16 years old. I couldn't handle it no more. I wanted to find out what it was like to live on my own. I couldn't live by the rules, by their rules.
Yeah.
Because I think it was just because I was drinking too much. I didn't know how to express myself. I had energy, but I wasn't feeding that void at the house. I was always getting in trouble. Even if I found, like, 12 years old, I found $5 outside. And I told Mom, I said, I found $5 outside. This is pretty cool. She goes, I said, I didn't steal it. I said, I found it. She goes, no, you did not. You stole it. Who'd you steal it from? Now, I would get a spanking if I didn't tell them.
Wow.
So I had to lie and say I stole it from this person. So they gave it to that person. Well, I didn't lie about it. They just forced me to lie because otherwise it'd be conditioned to get a spanking.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So you got into drugs, you got into alcohol, piercings, tattoos, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I became the person you don't want to take home to your mother.
Right. So what happened? I mean, here you are living on the streets, you're drugging, you're drinking. I mean, it sounds like a good plan for a strong future.
Well, I'll tell you something. You know what? I lived on the streets for 7 years, and I didn't realize I brought the geographical cure.
Right.
Because the problem was me in the beginning with. So where am I going to end this? Everywhere I went, there was always booze and drugs. All you had to do was find it.
Right.
So it took quite a bit of time. It was at the age 31 years old when I got tired of going in and out of jail.
Yeah.
When I actually went through and I got some help. Now, I've been in the detox before, which is a rehabilitation center.
Right.
Been to many of them before, just to dry out, get a week worth of something to eat, and get the booze and drugs out of my system for a week, and then go back out and do it again. But I didn't really mean to get healthy at that point. I just wanted to get enough days sleeping and relax.
Right.
This one time when I went in at age 31, I went in there and I said, I think it's time. I need the help.
So
it's different.
But you were, so from 16, let's see, 7 years. So you were 23. Is that right? 23 years old when you weren't living on the streets anymore. What happened there? What made you decide that the streets were no longer for you? And this is in Canada?
It was in Canada, yeah.
Dude, that's like cold on the streets in the winter.
Well, you think it's cold, I call warm.
Right. But come on, man. Like, it gets cold. Well, I'm not that far from Canada, so I know how cold it gets. Right?
I've seen it minus 40, 45 to minus 50 out here at times with 6 feet of snow. But that snow has helped me. The more snow that came down would help me keep warm because I'd bury myself into it. I'd actually go into an apartment building where people are actually doing their laundry, and I didn't care if the stuff fit me or not. I grab a sweater and I force it on. I force it on to keep warm. Now I got the heat on there already from the dryer.
Wow.
And then I put the snow over top of my legs, my body, all the way up to my neck. And I keep warm for the night.
Wow, dude.
And then I do it all again. And nobody ever know because I was always well dressed, but I was bumming for change.
Wow.
I made a lot of money doing that, but not as much as I make now. But I mean,
right. Wow. So at 23 years old, you became unhomeless. Is that a word?
I was dating a girl for almost 2.5, 3 years. When I was 20, we ended up having a child together.
Okay.
That's when father finally moved out. Her father never liked me, so we finally moved in together at 23-ish. Now the thing is, she died giving birth to my second child. So that's when I really got into the drugs.
She died?
She died giving birth to my second child.
Oh my God, dude. What?
It was a pulmonary emboli, which is a blood clot, knee, heart, brain, right? And it started off at the knee and it clogged right off, and epileptic seizure at the same time. So they couldn't save her.
Oh my
I didn't know what to do, and I was fairly young, and I didn't know how to deal with them. The emotions that came in were just flooding, and I didn't know what to do.
Wow.
Her family did not like me to begin with. I mean, long hair, tattoos. I was partially working, but I was drinking too much. They weren't very supportive.
Yeah, well, do you blame them now?
Not at all.
Right. I'm pretty sure I have 2 daughters. I am fairly certain I wouldn't support that either. So here you are. How old were you when she died?
When she died, I was 20 years old.
20?
20 years old, she died. Yeah, it was my first child was 18, and the second one was at 20. And then, you know, what are you going to do? I lost custody of both of them. One went to my Aunt Fran, and one was by the ex-father-in-law.
Oh my God.
Because I was too much of a drunk. I couldn't put my head together.
So, man, life was a mess, dude. A mess.
It was starting at that point.
So you were, here you are in your early 20s and, basically in and out of being homeless and 2 children, both of which you don't have custody. And, no. and she was your wife?
She was my common law wife at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was sporadic on the times when I was homeless, right?
Yeah.
So I go and live with her. She kicked me out for 6 months, and I go back in.
So, and she dies like during childbirth, which is unbelievable. Wow, man. So how did you deal with that? I mean, what?
Well, at the time, I didn't know anything about emotions. I just knew that if I showed them and cried in front of people, I'd be less of a man. That's the way I was brought up.
Right.
I was brought up to be rough and tough, and then I just started using drugs more.
Yeah.
I'm hooked up with some people that were doing extra drugs, and then I got into the gang life. Right.
Jeez.
So I got, yeah.
So you're one of those guys you don't want to run into on the streets. Literally.
Pretty nasty things. I was beating people up for money. I was the kind of person that, I'm a big boy. I'm 6'2", 300 pounds, and I had an anger issue.
Yeah.
And that anger came out on anybody I was told to deal with.
Wow. So, what ended up happening? So you lived that life for how long?
Till the age 31.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah, I was in jail for armed robberies, assaults, attempted murder.
What?
Stupid stuff like that. I mean, if I look back, I wouldn't change a thing in my world.
Right.
I would change a thing in my world.
Right.
Because it made me the person I am today, and made me a heck of a lot stronger of a person internally now.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, dude. So you, at 31 years old, you went to another treatment center. Again.
Yeah, I did 4 months this time. This time I did 4 months, and they said, what does it make a difference from the last time you were in? Any time, like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I said, this time I truly want it. So I started getting help. I started feeling that, hey, listen, there's hope. There was something that happened in me. There was one person, and there was only one person I've ever met in my life that actually came through and said, I believe in you. when that person showed that interest to me, when I was in jail, they showed that interest. They'd bring pencil crayons and all these different things for art. I was an artist, right? I was drawing everything I could. So when I started drawing, I expressed my emotions. And she liked that because she was actually a counselor dealing with people with drugs and alcohol. And she says, this is what you need to do. You need to start with this. Get your anger out on that paper. Don't take it out on the people around you.
Wow.
Because I wasn't angry at the external people around me. I was angry at me. I just didn't know how to deal with me.
Right. Wow, dude. So 31 years old, 4 months in a treatment center. Jeez.
Broke, and I mean broke.
Yeah,
I was
right.
100,000 in debt.
Right. Couldn't finance a bologna sandwich. So, right. So
maybe the bologna, but not the sandwich.
Right. So here you are in this treatment facility in a bit of a pickle, and you don't know. I can relate. I'm a recovered alcoholic myself, but you are in this situation where explain.
I didn't know how to live. I didn't know how to live in society at all unless I used a couple shots of pick me up.
Right.
Liquid courage, I call it.
Yep. I'm familiar with liquid courage. So explain to people though the feelings, the emotions, how you lived even in the treatment facility. What was going through your head about life and your future, and what was going on?
Well, one of the biggest things is people say resentments, right? Resentments are number one killers. Well, people don't understand what a resentment is. You take away booze, you put me in the middle of society where I don't know how to deal with anything, you're going to see a resentment. You know what I mean? Because I'll tell you, if I'm not conditioned to learn how to live in society in a proper manner, then I'm not going to be able to do it. Because first of all, how do I get a job? How do I do a resume? I don't know those life skills at that time. And the reason why I didn't is I was only drinking and drugging. That's all I cared about was hanging around the people that mattered to me, that I thought mattered. They were acquaintances. They weren't friends.
Right.
And the only time, I'll be honest with you, the only time I was actually telling the truth is when I said my face was against the toilet bowl like this, and I was up throwing up every morning, and it felt good because it's nice and cool. I said, God, just get me out of this, man. I won't do it again. All of a sudden, there's a knock on the door, and there's a case of beer, and so there's a sign. And I obviously wasn't God, but
yeah, right. Yeah. Wow, man. So you don't know how, and for those of you who've never experienced this, I have, and you literally, one of the things that I used to hear in the rooms is, you couldn't find your rear end with both hands and a flashlight. Literally don't know which way is up. You don't know how to live. You don't know. You're like an animal that has never even made it out of puppy stage. Like you just right. Like you're a mess. And so you come out of treatment 4 months into it, and what happens then?
Well, when I was actually in treatment, they actually did something with my anger. They asked me to actually do step 4, and it's like I would do 1, 2, 3, drink, 1, 2, 3, drink, 1, 2, 3, drink. Number 4, for those who don't understand in the step work, is a moral inventory of yourself. Yeah. So why would I want to look at myself if that pain is going to be there? Today I realized looking at the pain deeply and getting to the root of the problem, actually the success on the other side is a lot sweeter than I have to go through.
Dude, it is, man. Yeah, they call that the 3-step waltz. I did that for many years. What's funny is I was talking to my dear friend Julie Ziegler, Zig Ziglar's daughter, yesterday, and we were literally talking about step 4 because she openly admits it. She's in recovery and 32 years sober, and but we were talking about the 4th step yesterday, and I actually talked about it on a live stream not too long ago. So it's one of the most it's something that even normal people who don't have, like, if you do a searching and fearless moral inventory of yourself and you admit it to God and you come clean on everything, man, there's something incredibly freeing about that.
Now, a lot of people don't understand. Okay, well, they say, well, why would I want to step forward? That's a recovery. Now, hold on a second here. There is AA1, there is NA1, but there's also the California fourth step. The fourth step, the California fourth step, is over 300 questions. It has nothing to do with the concept of drinking and drugging.
Right.
You know, so I mean, I just wanted to be clear with the people out there viewing this, as some people would actually think, well, why would I want to do that? I never drank before. I didn't have those behaviors. I didn't think like that. Well, there's things that you could actually work on. I guarantee you.
All of us. all of us. So here you are. You again. You come out of treatment after being in there for 4 months, which I can't imagine being in a treatment facility for 4 months. But you're in there for 4 months. Was there a pinnacle? Was there something that occurred that you were like, were you arrested again? Was there something that made you go,
when I got out of it, honestly, sometime there, I had an epiphany. I had some sort of epiphany that, you know what, I belong here.
Yeah.
I actually belong here.
Yeah.
And I'm watching all these people, and it's like a halfway house, too. All the people from the penitentiary are coming in from the jail, and I'm cool, I'm only here because I want to get out of jail kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm watching their behavior, and I'm thinking, that was me. So now, do I want to act like that? Or do I want to change it and be noticed in a different way?
Right.
So I started changing. I started working with myself. Now, the guy that came up to me and said, who you work with? Who's sponsoring you? And I said, what's the sponsor? I was 3 months clean and sober at this time.
Wow.
He says to me, he goes, have you got a sponsor? I said, I don't even know what a sponsor is. He goes, I'll tell you what, here's my number. You report to me every day now. I said, I report to you. And this guy was a biker.
Wow.
Right? And I hung around bikers a lot at this time. A lot. I mean, I was doing some weird things.
Yeah.
And this guy here, I didn't meet this guy, but I knew he had a reputation of beating people up.
Right.
So it was like, okay, well, I'll report to you. What does that mean? He goes, just call me daily and we'll deal with it that way. So, and then it went from there. So I call him every day and he says, how you feeling? I said, well, how am I supposed to express it? I don't even know how to express how I feel.
Wow.
He goes, well, tell me what you're feeling. And I said, I got some tingling going on here. He says, you're feeling like you're mad right now, aren't you? And I said, why would you say that? He goes, because first of all, you didn't want to call me in the first place. You don't understand the concept of this. He goes, listen, I've already got 25 years sobriety. Is that what you want? I said, sure, just hand it to me. I'll just take it. He goes, if I hand it to you and you don't do the work for it, how are you going to keep it?
Wow.
I said, buddy, you're making too much sense here. I like this.
Yeah, right.
So then I started in the concept of learning. And it was cool. I love learning.
That's awesome, dude. So you get out of treatment, you have this sponsor now, your life is what? What's going on?
It was confusing because now I got to live in a society. I got to rent a place on my own, and I got to start over with nothing.
Right.
So I said, I don't have education. I dropped out of grade 9. I got kicked out actually of that school. So I said, you know what? How about I go get my education, secure my void? Because I've always thought in my mind, okay, go get the education.
Right.
And now, when you get the education, hopefully you get a job. But the thing is, I still got a criminal record behind me that I got to fulfill too.
Yeah.
So people are going to say you got a criminal record. What are you going to say? Hey,
right.
Nobody wants someone that used to go around beating people up. Nobody wants someone that, used to steal and lie to people to get their own way. But when you look at the situation, I looked at it as I'm going to get myself a lot of education. I'm going to overpower that, and I'm going to learn. But the best part of any of here's what I got. I got social service worker diploma. I got my grade 12, my social service worker diploma. I got my Dixon's degree. I got my BA in psychology, my master's in counseling psychology. I got my harm reduction and mental health crisis.
Wow.
And the reason why I got all that is because I was secured. I was actually feeling like I belonged in school. Because you know how it is when you're an alcoholic. You turn from one addiction to another, and I turned that into an addiction there. But every test, everything I did, every assignment, every presenting moment I could, or my thesis and that, was all on something I struggled with in my past.
That's awesome, though, man. So you you became very educated, at least formally. And then you add on top of the formal education, the street education and real life education you've had, and holy moly, that makes you an unstoppable force to be reckoned with.
It allows you to utilize those skills big time.
Yeah. I had, I don't know if you saw, I had Weldon Long on. Linda Ann Barber actually works for Weldon, and he's got a very, very similar story of being in and out of prison, and now the guy's just killing it, and he's an amazing, amazing human being. And so, that's one of the things that this show's about, man, is how you can take it on the chin so many times and be a complete loser. And I'm not judging you. I've been that loser myself. I'm saying that you can go through all of that, live that lifestyle, have that loser mentality, I guess, right? And I've been there, but you can turn it all around like that via education. Now, me personally, the only reason I ever went to college was I went to Ohio State University campus here in Columbus, Ohio to party. That's it. I've never, there's no other but I've read, I know well over 1,000 books, and I love to read. My desk is covered in books, actually. So, I think that education is beyond important. Reading books, learning from other people.
Now, you don't necessarily have to be attending college or university to get the education like yourself. You just read the book, right?
Right.
I personally, only reason why I went is, for one, I was feeling secure.
Right.
Two, I was actually using it as, because every 2 weeks I get a free counselor, right? So I get to debrief on the stuff I'm doing and learn some more insight of why I was doing and why I was acting the way I was, and learn how to identify emotions. That allowed me to be a certified psychotherapist and a certified counselor for 10 years.
Wow. That's incredible, man.
So I was helping the people come right off the street and be successful, just like I was, until I turned that into utilizing life coaching and business coaching.
And I think, it's important to note that, there's I can remember back when I was maybe 20, 21 years old. I was, I don't know, trying to save a relationship or a job or something. And so I went into drug and alcohol assessment, right, with this psychotherapist or whatever. And this really large woman, I'm sitting there and she's going through all of her, I took the quiz, right? And and all of the, and I'm like, she's sitting there and she's making all of these very critical and judgmental statements. And I finally said, have you ever been in a blackout? Have you ever drank to the point where you don't remember where you were? And she's like, no. And I go, I'm out of here. You can't help me. You don't know what I'm talking about.
I agree that 100%. But here's the thing. When I have people come to my office for that 10 years,
yeah,
I tell them, I don't care if you drink or drug. I really don't care if you drink or drug or not.
Right.
You're here to learn what's behind the issue. And that's what I want to work with. I don't want you drinking and drugging the day you come in and see me.
Right.
Afterwards, do whatever you got to do. It's your business. But I want to get to the in-soul problem of the issue, why you're doing it. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, when you get to that core issue, they stop drinking anyways.
That's right. Amen. I agree, man. So what's, let's skip ahead a little bit. I don't know. I don't even know how old you are now, but
46.
46?
46.
Okay.
13 years clean sober.
13. Good for you, man. Good for you. That's awesome. So you went you went through all this. You are sober now. And how old were you when you were
31 years old when I come into recovery.
Okay. So how did life progress from there? I mean, you did the drug and alcohol counseling, you did all the schooling, you got the 46 degrees, You got the right. You became addicted to getting degrees.
All of us. The hardest pill at that time to swallow was I wasn't making enough money to survive.
Yeah.
Being addiction, alcohol, drug addict myself, I inquired more and more and more.
Right.
And that's just in my system. But the thing is, when I was getting paid the money to work for someone else, it was like, how am I going to live on this, man? How am I going to live? How am I going to feed myself? And then all of a sudden, I can't. I mean, I want to buy a house. I want to buy a car. I want nice stuff. How am I going to do this? And most of the people, when I started opening my own business, most of the people already exhausted their money when they come in.
Yeah.
No government's going to help back them up. So now you got to look for their family members. Who's going to pay?
Right.
Half the time I got my heart on my sleeve and say, you know what? I'll just give you a few months of counseling for free.
Right.
But that's not feeding me. That's not paying my bills.
Right.
I walked away. I utilized all that skills I had, and I started writing books. Started putting my life out there, and then it turned out I started speaking on stages all over the place. And it's like, wow, really?
Wow.
I can make money doing this. And now, like today, I teach people how to get on stage and tell their authentic stories.
Yeah.
And I teach people about, how I co-author books with people. I was just seeing Bruce.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's in volume 1, and I got some top people doing forwards for me.
Yeah.
Rydick Bolt, for instance, the 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. He did one. Bob Proctor's doing one. Les Brown has endorsed the whole package, the series I'm doing.
Wow.
Les Brown's CEO is doing one for me. Raymond Aaron, New York best-selling author, is doing one for me.
Wow.
So how I, from rock bottom, reach that kind of success? Why? I'll tell you. I shown credibility. I shown I was worth it. I shown that enthusiasm that I would be there. I have the drive.
Yeah.
I have to drive. When I say I'm doing something, that's it. Get those pile of rocks out of my way because I'm coming.
I think, and I do a lot of, I do business with a lot of celebrities, and I was talking to one this morning that we chatted on the phone, and we were talking about this whole concept, and I think that, and I imagine you would agree, people continue to buy courses, they continue to buy tickets to events, they continue to go to these events, they continue to pay for coaching. I do coaching as well. They continue to but it's just like Alcoholics Anonymous or narcotics. Well, narcotics is even worse, but like it's a very, 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 very small percentage of people. If you go to a seminar, you watch a webinar, you pay for it, you pay for a book, you pay for counseling, very small percentage of people on this planet actually will apply what they hear to their lives. And then they stay stuck.
I see it all the time.
Sure.
And you know what? All the ones, like I've studied 40 of the top achievers in the world.
Yeah.
I literally studied them, right from Zig Ziglar right across to Les Brown, right across to Gary Vee. I mean, you name it. I studied 40 of the top people. And I'll be honest with you, I did buy into their stuff because it wasn't about me learning about them. It was about me learning about them to make me, right? I wanted to be something better. But the thing is, I noticed that a lot of people get scattered. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like this. I like that. But it's not in their body to do something like that.
Right.
A lot of people love Tony Robbins, but will they actually go out and do human behavior like that? No, they won't.
Right.
They just like the way it feels and the way the adrenaline shows. So when someone comes up to me and says, I'd like to learn how to speak, and they've never spoken on stage before, and they're not going to make it a career, why are you wasting your money?
Right.
I've had someone come up to me and say, I never wrote a book before, but I like to write a book because I want to be rich. I said, you get the whole concept wrong. I said, the book won't make you rich. It's you that make you rich.
Right.
It's out there. And in 1 year, that book's going to be on the bottom shelf of something, and nobody's going to see it. I said, it's up to you to maintain that book's value.
That's right. I
said, that book acts like a postcard and a business card. So it's how do you use it?
I totally agree with that, man. I think that you're making some unbelievable points. So let me ask you, let's go back to, the thing where people, because you and I know that it's only 2 or 3% of anyone who walks into a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, only 2 or 3% will actually stay sober for life. Narcotics Anonymous, if you have 6 months clean in Narcotics Anonymous, you're considered an old timer. like, I mean, because it's a lot tougher, right? When you get into heroin and some of the stuff that's out there now, it's like, wow.
Things have definitely changed.
Right, right.
Weed and doing heroin
Yeah.
was a thing in the past, but now you're doing fentanyl. People are dying on just a drop of things.
I know, man.
You got crocodile, which is eating your skin alive,
Yeah.
and you got all these other different things that people are force feeding in their body, and they're not realizing exactly what the potential could happen to this.
Right, right. But if we go back to the people that may write a book, right? I'm a best-selling author. I wrote a book, and I put it off for 30 years. I mean, I literally did. But, if you think about all of the potential that people have, whether it's in network marketing or a sales job selling cars or writing a book and selling your book or getting speaking engagements, whatever it is, why is it, in your opinion, what is it that you think keeps people stuck so they don't get to the next level? They don't go reaching for the next rung. They leave Alcoholics Anonymous, or they decide to say the hell with it and start drinking or using drugs again. What is it that makes them just say, I can't, I'm stuck, I can't get unstuck?
I can tell you 3 things off the top of my head. One would be scarcity. Right? Scarcity is a huge one. When people are sitting there, they don't know which way to turn, so they're afraid to put the money out. And when they put the money out, they're thinking, okay, all their demons in their head are sitting there saying, how am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to do this? Because I just gave that money out to that coach. Well, I thought that the first time too, when I actually hired Thick and Grow Rich, the operations manager, to actually train me.
Yeah.
The guy wasn't cheap. He was $5,500 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, how do I pay this guy? I only got $2,200 in my bank. So then I gave him a good portion of that, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this. When he got me to focus on the why, forget the how. Forget the how. The how's only hire someone like us.
Yep.
Hire someone like us. We'll get you to that level.
Yep.
And when we can't get you any higher, we'll pass you on to someone that's higher than us that can help you with that.
Yep.
I mean, that's how it works. It's organic relationships. Now, it's also resistance. People have resistance because they're so used to being in the same level, the same body, the same crap that they're in, day out. They don't want to change.
Yep.
They don't want to change their behavior. They don't want to change the thought process. But they know for a fact when they do break through them walls, right?
Yep.
There you go. They're Scott Rocket, man. They're rocketing up there.
Right. Right. So which all of that boils down to fear. And Mike Chavez is on. He said fear, and it is. I just recently told somebody, I was just talking with her and helping her through a couple of things, not coaching her, but I said there's a book out called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, written by T. Harv Eker. That book will rock your world. Like, it literally will reverse the programming. It will. And people don't understand that they have this mindset, this financial blueprint. They have this mindset, a ceiling. Like, I can only make $750 a week, and that's it, right?
$750,000 a day if you want it.
Right, exactly. But I'm just saying that people have that ceiling, and they're trying to break through. So if somebody came to you right now and they said, Robert, listen, man, things are tough. My electric's getting shut off tomorrow. My car was repoed yesterday. My wife ran off with my best friend. My dog died. My kids hate me. My life sucks. It's a mess, and I don't know what to do. What's the first thing you're going to tell them?
First thing I'd say to them is, "Now, tell me something that you're happy and grateful for."
Nothing.
There's got to be something in your life.
I wish I wasn't.
You know what? I've been through this 100,000 times with people, and
I
you know what?
know.
It's actually it's a fun game because when you're hitting someone direct, I've learned so much about reverse psychology, how to go around,
Yeah.
and then I find out what their interests are, and then when I go, so say hypothetically they're a mechanic, I say, listen, you know, right underneath when I'm driving my car this morning, I said right underneath this one area, I hear this big noise. Well, that's your alternator, he says. Okay, so I said, listen, I'll say if that's my alternator, how about this? If that conks out, can the rest of the car work? He goes, no. And then he tells me a big spew why. I said, listen, doesn't that talk about the same thing in your life?
Right.
And then we open the conversation. We build that trust,
Yeah.
right? So it could be an artist. What color is that? You know, I thought it was teal, but it's blue. Now you got a conversation because they're an artist.
Right. Right.
Anything can work. You just got to reverse it around. Instead of living in the negative of fighting with them, you look at Kim Sue Berg, which is one of the famous ones out there
Yeah.
that I love. She talked about the psychology and how to change that around. It's focus solution therapy. You focus on the positive and make it better.
Right.
Don't focus on the negative.
That's right. I totally agree with that. And so, and that's some of the stuff Tony Robbins talks about with neuroassociative conditioning and neuro-linguistic programming. So, you know, I think that with essentially what you're saying is you go straight into appealing to the nature that everybody has, this nature of wanting to help another human being. And if I'm a mechanic and I'm focused on how screwed up my life is, and you ask me, hey, I'm driving and I hear this thumping sound, and all of a sudden I'm not focused on how screwed up my life is.
That's right.
I'm focused on how I can solve your problem, right? Because I'm
Right.
the expert at loud thumping sounds in your vehicle. So like I love that, man. You're literally taking them from focusing on the negative to the positive stuff that they're capable of having. I love that, man. So tell me what's going on. Tell everybody what's going on right now in your life.
Well, you know, I visualize some things in my life. I've watched The Secret for many, many years. I watched Laws of Attraction, and I watched shows like that would uplift me. Now,
Right.
85% of the people, I'm going to say 85% of the people that watch these shows, they dream of being there. They dream they can have this. Okay, I'm going to make $100,000 doing this, doing that. The problem is that they don't understand this. They don't do the follow through. They don't. When I say I want a Mercedes, what type of Mercedes do I want? Okay, what's the cost? What's the style of it?
Right.
There's a different model for everything.
Right.
If I want a house, what's it cost? What towns are going to be in? What colors are going to be in? You have to be very clear for that to happen.
Yep.
Now, if you be very clear on things in your life like I was, I said, listen, I watched Tony Robbins for years. I watched Jim Rohn. I watched Ziegler. I watched all the way across, Les Brown, Bob Proctor. I watched all these people, and I said the first two people I wanted to be on stage was Les Brown, Bob Proctor, and Raymond Aaron. For some reason, all three of them come out. And I made it happen.
Wow.
It happened twice.
That's
right?
awesome, dude.
Bob Proctor's doing a forward for me. He's taking pictures with me at times. Endorses the book. I mean, they're seeing the value in me because I'm putting it out to the universe. When you're putting it out to the universe and you're sitting there saying, I'm going to do ever what it takes to get there. Never mind the obstacles in your way. It's not negativity comes your way. It's something to make you stronger.
Yep. I love it, man. I love it. Dude, you have a powerful story. Very powerful story.
Thank you.
And I think that how can everybody follow you?
Well, I can go Robert J. Moore on Facebook, or Robert J. Moore Inspires on my Facebook page, or robertjmooreinspires.com is my website.
Okay. You on
I'm a
Instagram?
best-selling author. If people also, I have opens right now. Volume 2 have just started. So I'm doing up to volume 5. After volume 5, there will not be another volume again for Magnetic Entrepreneur. Anybody that's an entrepreneur out there that is successful and wants to get in the book, there is a cost that comes along with it, and that scares people because you know what? I'm putting a lot of value in this. All you're doing is writing a chapter, and I'm branding you up to a new level. And it could be Wall Street, right? It could be New York Times.
Nice.
So endless where it can go. My thoughts are I'm going to New York. Never mind this piddly stuff. I want in.
Right.
I want to. I mean, look at your book. Hit number 92 the other day. As soon as you hit below 100, it's bestseller.
Yep, that's right.
People don't realize, but then you got to hit number 1 to make you feel a lot better because we're addicts. We got to be there.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, when you pick the toughest category on Amazon, right? It's
Self-help. I've been there. I've done it on self-help. I'll tell you a little secret. My third book, I wrote 2 books before this, and I was never number 1, number 2, number 5, number 100, anywhere in the categories.
Yeah.
And that was self-help. And my third book came out from rock bottom to success. Now, I had a guy come up to me that I trained him when he was doing his first book. I kind of just coached him here and there.
Yeah.
He became number 1. Now, the both of us started taking Jack Canfield's course, Principles for Success.
Yeah.
Except he took his in class. Well, Jack Canfield liked him so much, he hired him on. So now he works for Jack Canfield. And this guy came to me and says, Robert, let's get you number 1 bestseller today. How are you going to do that? He goes, let's do a forward in your book. I said, what's a forward?
Wow.
And I spelled it wrong and everything at the time. And he says, no, it's someone actually reads your book and gives a little synopsis of your book before people read it so they have an idea. And not only that, that brands you up a lot higher.
Yeah.
I said, okay. Yeah, I guess it would because you're connected to Jack Canfield and people know that now. So he put the forward in there. He calls me up and says, Robert, get down there and look. He says, you just republished it 2 days ago. Get down there and look at your book. It was number 1.
Yep. Makes a huge difference, man.
The Better Way Formula, Principles for Success. Like Greg Walker, the big dreamer, do it.
Yeah.
He did forward on that one. Now Greg Walker's actually joined in volume 2 of my book.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, dude, you are you're an inspiration not just to me but to a lot of people. You've got one heck of a story. And
Thanks.
and you recovered, you overcame it all, and you've come back with a ferociousness, man. I love that.
It's amazing how stuck I was in my own thoughts. Like you were saying, people think they can only make $100,000 or $20,000 or $5,000, and they think that's their only worth.
Yeah.
You know, guys, straight up forward, it's endless.
Yeah.
It's absolutely endless. I've seen me make over 50,000 in 1 month.
Yeah.
And you know what? Today I have teams. I have teams of people, the marketing team. I have teams of people doing my book and my architect and my editing and everything else. All I do is get the stuff in. I read it, see if it's potentially something I want in my book. If it's something I want in my book, you know, I send it off to the editor. They deal with you afterwards.
Right.
And you know, it's residual income.
Yep. It's awesome, dude. My wife's on here. She put your website up, and she also said, are your kids involved in your business now?
I'm raising right now. I have the 2 older kids I don't talk to. I haven't talked to in years. I've been trying to rekindle that for many years, but it's been hard because they were brought up without a mom and a dad.
Yeah.
Right. They're brought up with family members, but I'm raising here at this house here. I'm raising a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 6-month-old.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're doing really well. I go to the schools. I deal with their schools. They don't want me speaking at their schools. They ask me very clearly not to.
Yeah. I got
I
you,
said, why
man.
not?
Yeah. Well, dude,
Well,
I like, it sounds like you've got a lot of great things happening in life now, and that's awesome, man. So anybody that wants to connect with you can connect with you on Facebook or through your website. Are you on Instagram as well?
you know what? My children, I think, put me on there when they had my phone in their hands one time, but I've never used it. They say I got like 2,300 followers or something. I don't even know nothing about it.
That's awesome, dude. Well, everybody go to Robert jmoreinspires.com, right?
Yeah.
I have it up, my wife's comment up on the screen right now if you can't see it. RobertJMoreInspires.com. Make sure you go check out Robert, connect with Robert, and dude, you're awesome. You're awesome.
I co-author books with people. I do speaking wherever. I just came back from London, England, and in Paris. Took the wife out to Paris when we were out there.
Wow.
I've been in Florida, spoke in California. I've been on a lot of different podcasts. Internationally, I'll tell you, internationally been interviewed by so many different magazines. And then, like I said, I mean, I've been ×2 internationally awarded best-selling author. I've won a few nice awards, you know.
That's awesome, dude.
I've also won an honorary doctorate degree, but I refused it.
Why?
Why? Because I didn't want to fly all the way to London, England to receive something. I could sit right here and just make just as much money. It's an honor just having it.
That's awesome. Wow.
You know, I mean, I've won Lieutenant Governor's Community Volunteer Award for students. I've been nominated for Order of Arroyo Award, Order of Ontario. Some very high awards.
That's incredible.
And, you know, Author of the Year I've won.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
You know, but you know what? That means nothing if you can't do one thing. Les Brown says it best. If you want to go out there and learn something, you best be able to learn something to teach others to be able to teach others.
Yep.
So I'll give you one fish you can eat for today. But if you can't figure out how to eat tomorrow, then you're in trouble. My job's not done. So that means I got to teach you how to fish so you can feed the family now, not just you.
That's right.
That's what I teach people. I teach people how to light that fire out. When they get on stage, they feel the anxiety and they feel the pressure on them. The problem is that they don't understand is anxiety and happiness are the exact same feeling. Go read Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. It talks about reverting that to a whole new angle where you talk 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because you're conditioned to do 1 to 10, no problem. But 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 changes the frontal cortex.
Yep.
So then when you do that, you get up there and say, I'm happy. They're the exact same feeling, just different category.
I love it, man. I love it. Mel Robbins she's a rock star. Jeez.
Well, you get to learn one thing from it. Even Zig Ziglar says, he says, the story's not about you to begin with. So why are you all upset?
Yep.
You know your story. How's anybody else going to say, oh, you did that wrong when it's your story? You know it.
That's right, man. I totally agree. I love it, man. Helping people, that's what it's about. That's what it's all about.
And people got to stop focusing on the money. Do you do something you love doing? You're not doing the job properly? I'm telling you right now, your money will come in. Money will come in. The problem is that you focus too much on the money, how much is going in, how much is coming out. That's why you're broke.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
When I seen thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in my bank account just going in overnight, and I didn't do nothing. All I did was be me.
That's it.
Empowering other people is the way to go, I feel.
I love it.
So if anybody out there in any which way, please give me the opportunity and we'll talk. I can't do it for free. I have family to feed. I have a why.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Well, Robert, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show. I appreciate you sharing your story, sharing some hope with everybody, man. It's awesome.
It's an honor to be on here, Ken.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Cheers.
You guys have an amazing day, and thank you to everyone who shared this out. Elizabeth, I love Elizabeth Olivieri. She's amazing. Yeah. She shared it out to all of her groups, too, so thank you for that. So you guys have an awesome day, and we will see you all tomorrow. Robert, thanks a lot. I appreciate you being here, man.
Thanks a lot.
All
Take care. Cheers.
All right.